So to start, you're gonna wanna clean your kitchen. Then you're gonna wanna grab your pots. You're gonna wanna turn your heat on to around 5 or so. All right, so then grab your ground beef, take it out of the package, and start cooking that in the pot. So once your ground beef is about halfway cooked, throw in your 1 teaspoon of pepper and 1 teaspoon of salt. Once your ground beef is fully cooked, no more pink in it, you're going to grab your small bowl, the sink, and then you're gonna wanna fill it with some cold water. Grab your strainer and put that just over top of your metal bowl. Turn off the stove while you're straining that. We're gonna grab our second pot and start cooking our vegetables. So you're gonna want to peel off the outer layers of the onion, and then you're gonna want to chop off the top, not the bottom with the root. Like so. Slice them, so you just wanna cut right near the bottom and kind of wedge out the onions, and do that all the way across as well. So once you have your onion wedged out, instead of cutting it lengthwise, we're gonna cut it widthwise, and we're just gonna cut it into nice little chunks like that. So we're just gonna dice those onions up nice and fine. We dice up the second half. Next, we're going to cut up our bell pepper down the middle. Take out the seed, or you're gonna take it and just try not to cut it all the way through. Sort of even. Dice them from the side that you didn't cut. Now that your vegetables are cut up, turn the heat up to 2 or so, and then put your coconut oil in. Add your onions and your green pepper to the pot to saute. Once your green peppers and your onions are sauteed, you're gonna take your ground beef, and you're gonna wanna just dump that in with the onions and the green peppers. So after mixing in your ground beef and your onions and green peppers, you're gonna wanna take this smaller pot that it's in and put it back into the bigger pot. We're going to start putting the canned tomatoes into the pot with it. Empty the contents of the 2 diced cans of tomato into the pot with the ground beef and stir that in really nicely. And then once you have that in, turn it up to about 4 or 5 or so. Start adding your spices. Tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of oregano. Make sure you stir those spices in. While that cooks a little bit, cut up our garlic and then get that ready to throw into the pot. What I usually do is I'll take the bottom of it here, peel it, and then once most of it's gone, just kind of grab it from the top. I'm gonna take them from the top and we're just gonna cut it lengthwise, not cutting all the way through, or at least trying not to. From the top again, not from the bottom. Start really thinly dicing the garlic. Yeah, take half of that, put that into the pot of chili. And then just stir that in. Have your can of beans. Once the beans have been drained, you're gonna wanna empty the contents of the can. That goes for both cans of beans. Stir that in nicely. Back up to about 4 or 5 and just wait for it to start bubbling over again. And make sure that it's boiling nice and strong. If it starts to boil over again, you're gonna wanna stir it one more quick time and then turn the heat down to 2 and put the lid on it. So now that the lid's on it and it's boiling over, you're just gonna wanna let it sit there for a good 2 hours, 3 hours, and every 15 to 30 minutes or so, you're gonna wanna go and stir it. Turn it down from 2 to low once the lid is on it as well. Can I get a wave? Oh, good girl. It's been a couple of hours now. The chili is looking a little bit better. So we're just gonna take the lid off here, give it a nice stir. At this point, we're going to take the rest of our garlic that we left over into the pot. Then we're gonna stir that in. At this point, your chili is pretty much ready to eat. You can turn off the heat on the stove and serve it up in your bowls.